Pearl barley. Moonshine life groups. Pearl barley is made from polished barley. Sometimes, the polishing process is repeated 6 times. Polishing makes the grains unfold more quickly and efficiently. Pearl barley is generally used to make porridges or soups, but it also serves as a great raw material for strong spirits. If properly prepared, the aroma and flavor of barley liquor can be equivalent to that of barley liquor. You can let the prepared drink age in oak barrels or infuse it with oak chips to make homemade whiskey. Theory. Distillery yeast can only convert simple saccharides. That is why, before fermentation, the starch contained in the barley needs to be converted into simple saccharides with the help of the yeasts present in the malt. This process is called conversion. Using barley malt or rye malt is preferable. It is important that it is not fermented. You can buy this malt in specialist stores or prepare it yourself. For normal conversion, you will need about 1 pound of malt, white or dry green, no conceptual difference per 4 to 5 pounds of pearl barley. Without the help of malt, pearl barley does not ferment. Theoretically, from 1 kilo of raw material of barley grains or malt, you can obtain about 800 milliliters of alcoholic beverage 40% ABV. But in practice, the yield will be 5–20% lower because the beans never contain as much starch as possible and some distillate is lost during distillation. To increase the yield, you will have to add sugar. 1 kilo will increase by 1.1–1.2 liters 40%, but this will affect the quality of the drink. That's why I don't recommend adding sugar to grain distillates. It is only beneficial if you have very few grains. Warning: a thermometer is needed to measure the temperature of the wort and prepare for washing. A thermal error of 2 to 3 degrees Celsius is acceptable for conversion. Ingredients: pearl barley 5 kilos, malt unfermented green or white 1 kilo, water 27 to 30 liters, sugar 1 kilo optional, yeast. Pearl barley wash recipe. Place the joints in a large bowl. An enameled pan or bucket works well. Heat 20 liters of water in a separate pan to 50 degrees Celsius, 4 liters of water per 1 kilogram of pearl barley. Squirt hot water on the beans, stirring to prevent lumps from forming. Heat the mixture to 55 to 60 degrees C, cook for 15 minutes and then increase the temperature to 62–64 degrees Celsius and cook for another 15 minutes. Bring the mush to a boil and let it simmer for 90 minutes. Stir occasionally to prevent it from burning. Make sure the mixture is homogeneous before adding the malt. Cool the mixture to 65 degrees Celsius. While the wort is cooling, grind the malt. Place it in another container and pour it with 3 liters of water at 26 to 28 degrees C, 3 liters per 1 kilo of malt. Stir until the mixture is homogeneous. Drip the malted milk obtained in the pearl barley cooled to 65 degrees Celsius while constantly stirring the mixture. Cover the container with a lid and heat to 63 degrees Celsius. Maintain a temperature of 55–65 degrees Celsius for the next 2 hours and stir the puree every 20 minutes. At the end of the cooking process, the pearl barley should be sweet. If so, then the conversion was successful. The starch was converted to simple saccharides which, in turn, can be converted by yeast. Cool the wash to 70 degrees Celsius and add beet sugar optional along with 3 liters of water, 7 liters if you added sugar, and stir. In order to prevent a microbial infection, you should cool the wash down to 28–29 degrees Celsius as soon as possible. The easiest way to do this is to place the wash container in a cold or ice bath. Pour the cold wash into a fermentation vessel, leaving at least 25% free space for foam and carbon dioxide. Add the previously dissolved yeast and stir. Install an air lock on the neck of the container. You can wear a medical glove with a hole in one finger. A used glove instead of a decompression chamber. Transfer the barley solution to a dark room or cover with a thick cloth with a stable temperature of 18 to 27 degrees C. Depending on the yeast used and the temperature, fermentation lasts 4 to 12 days. After that, the decompression chamber stops bubbling and the glove empties. The wash becomes a little bit more bitter and shiny. It has no sweetness and there is a layer of sediment at the bottom of the container. If all of this is apparent, you can proceed to the next step, distillation. Making barley with moonlight. Drain the fermented wash through a few layers of cotton cloth to prevent semolina residues from burning during heating, which can impair flavor. Steam generator owners can skip this step. Pour everything into a moonlight still and perform the first distillation without fractionation. Complete the main product collection when the ABV is below 25%. The distillate can be cloudy, that's fine. Measure ABV of the distillate. Calculate the volume of pure alcohol, ABV percentage times the volume in liters divided by 100. Dilute the moonlight with water up to 18 to 20%. You can clarify with coal or in any other way. Perform the second distillation and collect separately the first 8–14% of the pure alcohol calculated in the previous step, while there is still a bad smell. This harmful part is called heads, and should not be consumed. Gather the average hearts until the ABV is below 45%. Then finish the distillation process and collect the last fraction called tails separately. Dilute the intermediate run obtained with water to obtain the required ABV. Bottling and sealing hermetically. To improve the flavor of the brandy, leave it in a cold place for at least 2 to 3 days for the chemical reactions to settle. By J.B. Wagonmaker. Moonshine Life Recipes Group. Cheers.